Hey folks, welcome to What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show. I'm your host, Peter Larman, and thanks for listening in to us today. I hope that everyone had a safe Memorial Day long weekend. And thank you to the men and women of the armed forces, past, present, and future, that protect us and give us the liberties and freedoms that we sometimes take for granted, that allow us to enjoy the lives we have today. So from all of us here at What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show, and WRVO Radio Network 1, thank you. If you're a frequent listener of our show, you'll know that we try to bring you the latest and greatest in products and information to help your time in the outdoors more enjoyable and hopefully more bountiful. We've had some great companies like YOLO Tech, that were the action camera mount that charge your cameras and iPhones, iBobber that turn your smartphone into fish finders. We've had some great lure companies like Livingston Lures with their multi-touch electronic bait fish sounds, hard baits, to the lineup from Megabass. We've had pros on the show, like Bassmaster Classic champions Edwin Evers, Randy Howell, and Boyd Duckett, and just to name a few. And they talked about their winning ways and the products that they have used to achieve the level of success. All of the above in an effort to help you, our listeners, get the best of your time in the outdoors. Well, today's episode is no different. We are very pleased to have on the show Brian Jensen, who's CEO of Fishidy. However, before we bring Brian on, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right after this. You're listening to What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show on WRVO Radio Network 1. Are you looking for quality fishing tackle from knowledgeable staff that use the products and have experience in fishing? And do you want a dependable tackle shop that carries all the latest in some of the fishing industry's best-known companies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then Pro J Fishing Tackle in Scarborough, Ontario is that tackle shop. Jasper and the staff at Pro J Fishing Tackle will get you ready for walleye, bass, crappie fishing season. Pro J Fishing Tackle carries some of the popular brands like Shimano, Lew's, Daiwa, Megabass, Angler's Choice, Yamamoto, Jackal, Sunline, just to name a few. Make sure you drop in and check out all of their products at their store location at 3467 Shepherd Avenue East, Toronto, or give them a call at 416-913-8305 and check them out on Facebook. So if you're looking for a quality tackle with excellent customer service from knowledgeable staff, Pro J Fishing Tackle is where you need to shop before going out and catching that trophy of a lifetime. Hey folks, welcome back. Today on the show we have Brian Jensen, CEO of Fishidy. Brian, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Brian, tell us about what is Fishidy?
Fishidy is an online and mobile platform that allows anglers to have more success on the water. At least that's our goal. And we do that through connecting anglers to other like-minded anglers, allowing them to follow and get updates on activity on waterways they fish, and then also view some interactive fishing maps that will help you clearly identify the best places to fish and help you eliminate unproductive water.
So, is it more like a community forum type thing where people would constantly contribute information to a site?
Sure. So that's a part of it. We like to think of ourselves a bit different than a community forum, and much more in line with a social network. And I know some people might hear social network and fishing spots, and they might say no way. But the reason why we consider ourselves a social network is because we allow you to share based on the connections that you have. So instead of posting something on a blog forum or something like that where everyone would see it, on Fishidy, when you post it, you select how you want to share the information. So you could share it with the other anglers you're connected to. You could share it with everyone if you do want to, or you can keep it completely private so you're maintaining your own personal fishing log.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's everyone knows. I mean, and I shouldn't say everyone. It's tournament guys know that maintaining a log is very important when you're fishing various lakes, especially throughout different times of the year. So you guys are kind of taking that a step further.
Yeah, we're taking it a step further by adding, making that information accessible at your fingertips via your mobile phone. And we're doing that because what we're also allowing you to do then is by storing it into a database as opposed to writing it into a journal or even storing it as a waypoint on your GPS unit that you could have in your boat. We're allowing you to then key in, you'll be able to key in any of those factors for future fishing dates. So, for example, if you wanted to know which fish are biting when the wind is out of the southwest and there's overcast skies and the water temperature is in the mid-60s, you'd be able to look back historically to be able to find that based on those, key criteria of the day that you're fishing.
And then, but basically, I'm not just using my own logs. I'm using logs from everyone else that have shared that information.
So, yeah, and the way that, if you use it as your personal log, that's great. We have many people doing that. We have a few users that have, 3,000 to 5,000 different points or spots marked that they're keeping for themselves. And, no one has access to them but them, not even us. And the other thing is if you set up your own network and let's say you're connected to 10 to 20 anglers, you may share amongst the 10 to 20 of you, but no one else is seeing it. So, and you may be giving some stuff away, but you get a lot in return as well. Mm-hmm.
That's that sounds very interesting. I like the idea. I really like the concept of it. Has it caught on with anglers? No pun intended.
Yes, anglers are embracing us. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we're a small company based out of Madison, Wisconsin, and right now we just recently surpassed over 500,000 members.
Wow.
We did this in just a couple of years, so it's been really exciting. It's exciting to see the growth. It's exciting mostly to get stories from people that are saying, hey, here's a bunch of fish I caught for my trip, thanks to you guys. So, that's what's the most rewarding.
And you know what, and that goes back to the whole premise of our show, right? We have our listenership, and as you and I spoke off air, our listenership has people from, we have cottage goers, we have people that go camping and they want to go fishing maybe once or twice a year, and we have tournament guys and whomever that listens. So this is another good way to get information before you go out. I mean, there's always on previous shows we talked about map studying and gathering all that information off the internet, and I know we're working on getting a future show with a past pro, Matt Heron, about actually going out and pre-fishing for tournaments with new bodies of water and stuff like that. So this is another good source of information that if anybody's looking to fish a new body of water or just to go out fishing on any particular body of water that they're on, this would be another spot to find that information.
Absolutely, and I'm one of those. I was one of those anglers when I started this company, and it was the result of a horrible fishing trip on Rainy Lake in Minnesota, Ontario, that really gave me the push to go out and try to start this thing.
Now, okay, so now that you mentioned Rainy Lake, Now, what lakes are do you guys actually have information or data on?
So in our system right now, we have about 8,000 waterways that have the detailed mapping of them, and we have another about 40,000 waterways in our system that may not have the detailed mapping, but they have the overview mapping. They have the social community and being able to connect to other anglers and posting activity, and plus weather, and we have these really cool algorithms that basically look at weather conditions, fish behavior, historical data, all that stuff, and put it through algorithms and literally give you an hour-by-hour forecast on how to fish that particular lake, which includes peak fishing times, but also literally it'll say 9 a.m. use this bait on this type of structure, and your probability is 76%. And it does it hour by hour. So there are a lot of amazing tools that we have, and it's pretty much covers worldwide when you get down to it. I asked you that question, and what you just said, that last statement, really makes sense because it is on the internet, and we all know that that's made the world a lot smaller. So yeah, I guess it depends on where your users come from and what bodies of water they fish.
on any particular part of the world?
Well, I'll give you a fun fact. This summer, we're actually going to be the primary logging application for a tournament in Botswana, Africa.
Wow. So now I know if I want to go to Botswana for a tournament, I know where to look up data information for that.
It's really going to be more about the logging in that particular case, logging and sharing that information with their conservation department to understand, how many fish were caught, released, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We typically don't do that type of thing, but this was a special arrangement. So it's applicable worldwide.
Okay, so that was my next question. So you were saying that. So have any other government agencies approached you and saying that can we look at your database to see how certain fisheries are behaving or reacting, or how the population or the production of that particular body of water is during that time?
There have been, and it's we're happy to help, and we definitely want to help conservation efforts. In fact, one of our biggest things is trying to get newcomers into fishing. Is one of our part of our mission and goals as a company. But we also need to respect our users' privacy and their information. When a user tells us they want something to be private, we take that very, very serious. So we can't share a lot of that information, but we share some. I know a lot of state agencies and also tourism departments. We just did a promotion with Mille Lacs in Minnesota, a promotion with their tourism department, and we've also worked with the Wisconsin Department of Tourism and Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to help get a lot of their information out there and accessible to people. I think a lot of people don't realize how much conservation departments, as much as they get things wrong, they do a lot of really good things in terms of stocking and building fish habitat and stuff like that. So they use us as a source to get that kind of really good information into the hands of anglers, which will also help their time on the water.
Well, so that's cool. So it's working both ways. They're actually contacting you, giving you information, and vice versa.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's phenomenal. So you're right. I mean, we can. That's a debate for another day, as far as what the Ministry of Labor, the Department of Fisheries, or whatever they resource management people, whatever they do, and like you said, they get a lot of things right, and they get some things right, and they get some things wrong. But we always tend to focus on the wrong or the negative. We never really focus on the positive. And like you said, this is one of the positive features that they're doing. That they're relaying that information to your users and using your platform to get that as a vehicle to get that information out.
Right, and it's all public information, so it's they don't have applications and things like that where they can get this information out. So if we can help get information, any information that can help someone catch more fish, make their time more productive on the water, we'll find a way to use it and get it in the hands of anglers. And
that's perfect, because again, that's the whole premise of our show, and that's kind of right up our alley too, as well. Brian, we need to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, can you tell our listeners how they can sign up, and if there's a fee and any other particulars that users need to get onto Fishidy?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Perfect. So, folks, we'll be right back with Brian Jensen right after this. You're listening to What's New, the Peter Lerman Outdoors radio show on WRVO Radio Network 1. Livingston Lures. Livingston Lures is committed to bringing fishermen everywhere innovative, technologically advanced lures designed to flat-out catch fish in fresh and salt water. With an exciting new line of crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, topwater baits, jerk baits, and wake baits, featuring a unique sound and vibration technology. Livingston Lures is set to make some real noise across the fishing industry. Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're talking with CEO of Fishidy, Brian Jensen. And they have a really cool application out there. It's called Fishidy. You believe you get it at fishidy.com. And it's basically a resource location where you can get information about anything you wanted on a particular body of water. And you can share that information, whether you use it as an own personal log or you can share it with other anglers in the community to make your time on the water more bountiful and help you catch more fish. Brian, before the break, I had asked you if you tell our listeners how would they sign up and everything they need to do to participate in this activity.
Sure. So to create an account on Fishidy, it's completely free. You can do it at www.fishidy.com. You can also do it by downloading the mobile app on either the Apple or Android platforms. So you can just go right to the app stores and search for Fishidy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you download it, it takes just a few seconds to create an account. And from there, you're into Fishidy and just start connecting and following waterways and enjoying the application. If you do want to get our premium service, which gives you access to more sort of reporting and analytics and guide hotspots that come from guides and scouts, you can do that, and that's $9.99 a month or up to $49.99 for a year. But but otherwise it's free to use, and you get probably 90% of the features that are available in Fishidy for free, including all the social activity, the logging, posting, sharing, the overview maps, the depth contour maps, all of that stuff. So that's how you check it out.
That's awesome. So again, it's www.fishidy.com. Now, I noticed I was on your site earlier, and I'm actually just going to it right now. You said but there's also businesses and premium. Can you elaborate a little bit more on those as well?
Sure. So the premium is sort of what I just described. It's $9.99 a month or $49 for a year, and that gives you access to fishing spots that were developed with the use of guides,
mm-hmm.
fishing guides and scouts and captains, and then some of our advanced analytic and reporting software. And this also is for stream fishing. So we have analytic tools for all the fly anglers out there that like to fish streams and rivers. But then we also have businesses, and it's free to create a business account, and it allows you to get your business onto our maps so people can see where it is. It allows you to start communicating with customers that are interested in the waterway you might be located on. So if you own a bait and tackle shop, or if you're a lodge and you want to provide fishing reports, or if you're having any deals or anything like that, you can get them out to our customers. So there's a lot of opportunities for businesses to increase their awareness, but also provide a service to all our anglers out there, because we need to know where we can get things like fishing licenses and where we can stay and where we can buy minnows and stuff like that. So
for sure.
We look at it really as a service that goes both ways for the business and the customer.
That's fantastic, and it's I've been clicking here kind of as you were talking or whatever, and it's very user friendly. I haven't downloaded the mobile app yet, but everything's very user friendly, and so the majority of you, I know you said you guys are covered, all over the world. Is it mostly in the United States that most of your information comes from?
I think that's fair to say. Although we have a lot of Canadian users, I think it just sort of naturally evolved out of that because of where we were located. We started to get, when we first started, a lot of buzz in the Midwest. So we were really strong in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. But then it's really spread, and now it's nationwide. And I think our biggest state is probably Florida now, or Texas, and we're covering all the state of Maine is a big state for us, New York State, and then we do creep into Canada. So we're growing. We're always looking for new data sources. We're really bullish fish on working with the Canadian government on trying to get some more information available to get out there to users, because we definitely want this to be an international platform and want to support our brothers to the north.
That's again, you're right. I'm obviously coming out of the States. It's that is where you're going to get most of your information. And again, too, especially as you mentioned, Florida and Texas, where these guys can fish 12 months of the year. Whereas up here, we have that beautiful thing called ice that doesn't really allow us to fish all the time. I mean, yeah, we can get out when it's hard, but this year was not a very productive ice fishing season, to say the least. But yeah, I noticed now that you guys are up into the Bay of Quinte in the Belleville area, so a great walleye and bass location. So, and obviously you got the St. Lawrence River and in Lake Ontario, Lake Erie is very. There's lots of information on that, so that's really cool. So again, folks, check them out at www.fishidy.com. That's FISHIDY.com, and sign up. Again, it's free and it's a great place to get valuable information for your next fishing trip. Brian, is there anything else that you guys are working on towards? I know you mentioned you're working closely with the Canadian government to try to get to get them to provide as much information as well as you got from your local CEOs over in the United States. Are you finding that is it a successful thing talking to the folks up here?
It's a bit different. There's not sort of in the U.S. There's I think much more lenient Public Information Act. So really, if anything's produced using taxpayer dollar, it's basically can be available upon a public records request. So I think just how we're structured as governments and sort of our rules of operating are a bit different. The other thing that applies to this that makes it a little bit more difficult is that because we're a U.S. company, we're not Canadian citizens paying Canadian taxes. So whereas if you were a Canadian citizen, it would be much more easy to get the sort of information. So I would say that it's progressing. I think sometimes when you're working with governments, it takes more time than you wish it did. But they've been friendly and willing to talk, so that's what's most important.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you can get some of our Canadian listeners to look up to sign up onto this and provide some of their information, and then hopefully that will entice the Canadian governments to maybe talk a little bit more openly with you and try to get it rolling, because as we all know, we're fortunate enough up here in Canada to have lots and lots of freshwater lakes and stuff like that around here that we're fortunate to have, and we like to share that with our fellow anglers.
Absolutely, and if I can bring a compelling story of tens of thousands of or 100,000 Canadian users using every day, I think that's a great story to tell the government, and it's also a great way to get more Americans to come up to Canada and to fish, so it'll help the tourism angle as well.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation for everybody, right? It's for the angler, for the tourism, for businesses, and it just needs to get caught on, and hopefully we can play a little part in that, in getting your product and your information out to the general public.
Absolutely.
Brian, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. We really do appreciate it. It's a great looking product out there, and I wish you all the success in the future.
Thank you so much for your time, and tight lines out there to everyone.
Folks, this episode was brought to you by Lew's, building innovative products that are faster, lighter, and stronger. Pro J Fishing Tackle out of Scarborough, Ontario. George's Marine and Sports, making fun a reality. Livingston Lures, the difference is clear. Mercury Marine, #1 on the water. And Nitro Boats, driven to be the best. It's our passion. Folks, take a kid fishing. They are the future of our sport, and practice catch and release. Remember what I always say: work hard and fish harder. I'm your host, Peter Larmond, and Lord willing, you will tune in to us next week as we bring you what's new. Thanks for listening.